Coach, you did a lot of pressing, a lot of trapping in the first half. Was that something that you wanted to work on for this game, and how do you think that worked out?
I thought it worked out pretty good, you know. I mean, we're trying to get ourselves some easy buckets, you know, if we can, and try to get the game going a little bit quicker. Create as many possessions as we can. I thought it worked out pretty well. I don't know that it's something that you can do for 40 minutes every single game against every single team, but I think there's a time and place for it, and I thought we were pretty active in it. I thought we were pretty aggressive in it. Since Gabby and Kia graduated, we don't create as much off our defense. Those two really got us a lot of opportunities from our defense. So just trying to figure out ways to do it.
To follow up on that, does playing like that, when it goes a little more faster, does it help Crystal and in what ways, and how do you feel, putting together another terrific game tonight?
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously she gets a chance to be out in the open floor and make plays for herself and for others. Right now, I think that the basketball world is, if you're not careful, is stand around and wait to shoot a three. I mean, if you watch, it's kind of what basketball has become. And I think there's got to be something else to the game. Even though we took, half the shots we took were threes. I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but I think we also got a lot of good stuff when Crystal got inside the lane. And if we can get her more opportunities to do that, I think that's better. Because even if those threes come after we get in the lane, then that's a good one, I think. I think too many times it's just throw the ball around and whose turn is it to shoot? But I think we got in the lane a lot today and we're able to get some kickouts.
Geno, you got a pretty good look at your bench in the fourth quarter. What did you notice?
It was 8-4. We killed them. So I thought the bench was fabulous. We doubled them up. I think that was one of the best quarters they've had. We outscored them. Other than that, they weren't very impressive. But, what can I tell you? That's what it is.
What was it like to, have that moment with Katie Lou before the game to celebrate her accomplishment and then, watch her go out and have a great game the way she did?
2,000 points is a lot of points. We've had a couple players do that in the past, and you got to be pretty consistent, and you got to do it for the whole 4 years. And it helps when you make a bunch of threes like she has in her career. But it's not easy being targeted, when you're a three-point shooter, and if you have 3 3-point shooters on your team that are great, then maybe it's a little bit easier. But there's a lot of pressure on Lou because she's got to make a bunch for us to be really, really effective. So I'm pretty proud of her.
All things considered, do you think that was your best defensive effort this season? Maybe Tulane was.
Yeah, I think for those 20 minutes, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. We, as I said, we were able to get out of it what we wanted to get out of it. One of our problems is we're such a lousy rebounding team. So I worry. I said to our guys before the game started, I said, look, if we're going to really get after these guys, I said the number one thing, the biggest thing, is we got to rebound the ball because they're going to miss a lot of shots. And I don't know that we did a really good job rebounding, but that's the one area that I worry about. So we'll keep working on it, and hopefully it'll be something that we can use along the way. Sunday we're playing a team that really rebounds the hell out of the ball. So we're going to really be tested.
Geno, can you talk a little bit about the leadership you're getting from Nafisha and from Katie Lou?
It comes in different ways than you would normally think. Fisa, the way Fisa plays, I think she's an example for every kid watching that aspires to be a really good college player. There may be days when, you'll come out of watching us play over the last 4 years and you go, Fisa didn't shoot the ball well tonight. But you've never in 4 years come out of there and say, Fisa didn't work hard tonight. She didn't compete. She didn't mix it up the entire game, all 40 minutes, every possession on both sides of the floor. The kid is just really unique that way. There aren't many players like her in the country. And that's how she leads. The block shots today that came from everywhere, the buckets, that she was getting, the rebounds that she gets. And I think she and Lou complement each other pretty well. Lou can, talk to the guys about this is what we want, this is what we need to do. So they both have their own unique ways of doing it, but one's more quiet than the other.
Geno, when thinking about the stretch run with this team and maybe its potential, where are you with kind of balancing things that concern you and things you can really bank on? How do you feel about this team if you're able to look ahead a little bit?
Well, I said when the season started that this was going to be one of those teams where you're not going to be able to look too far ahead because there's too many things that we have to work on short term to think about, where we're going to be long term. We have to get, we have to continue to get better. We have to continue to work to get better. There's a certain level that you have to be at, I think, come tournament time. And when the tournament starts, you got to be playing your best basketball, and you've got to have pretty much everything covered by the time the tournament starts. So this, some years we start the season, and by the end of November, we've got everything covered. And there's nothing that's going to happen the next couple months that's going to change that. This isn't one of those years. So where are we going to be, long term? I'll have to let you know, long term wise, a long time from now.
Is this more enjoyable for you, this
No.
type of team? Where you have to coach and you can see the
Yeah. Where you can see the improvement. I think when I start seeing improvement, I'll be enjoying it. It certainly is a lot different than what we're used to, things are a little more challenging. Things that used to come easy that you come to expect are a little harder to get to. And when we're good, we're really good. And when we're not, we're really not. And I think that we've kind of normalized, a little bit. That's the way most coaches in America operate. And I've always wanted to be in that situation again, and here I am. So be careful what you wish for.
Geno, Crystal had a really good game,
Yeah.
Passing in transition. What did you kind of see from her that impressed you tonight?
Crystal likes to see herself as someone who creates. I think she'd rather, create a basket for somebody else than actually, get a lot of buckets for herself. Again, like I said to Carl, the more we can get Crystal on the open floor, the more we can get her attacking the defense before it gets set, the better she is. And she did some great things today. she's really taken, another step from where she was last year. And I think as long as you have a really, really good point guard, I think you have a chance. So we have a chance to be really, really, really good because we got a terrific point guard.
Geno, two-part question. Did Johnny Cash remind you of Swin at all? And second was 7 out of 10, 3.0 or better in either of the last two semesters. Any message for the three that didn't quite get there?
Why are you always looking at the glass half empty, Carl? You've been around me too long. As far as the academic part of what we do is incredibly important to our program. Our players know it. They take great pride in it. We take great pride in it. They're the kind of kids that we recruit, and they come here and they expect to do well academically, and they challenge themselves, and they do great. Year in, year out, they do great. So I'm not surprised that we have 7 of our 10. One of the kids missed it. I think got a 2.9 or something. So that's kind of what we are, and I'm thrilled. I'm happy for those kids. They worked their butt off. I ran into somebody the other day and told me that they were a UConn grad and that they had some classes with Gabby Williams, and said, I remember watching you guys play Notre Dame on TV, and Gabby had an unbelievable game at Notre Dame, and the next morning we had an 8 o'clock class and she was there. That's kind of indicative of what we're dealing with here, what kind of kids we're coaching. And as far as Swin's niece, cousin, she's got a little bit of Swin in her. She does. She's got a little attitude. And Swin was, I think, the one that had the most ever on our team, probably. I said to the kids on the bench, actually the coaches on the bench, I said, this kid's going to be a problem because she's going to beat people up, and she's fearless. And that's exactly how Swin was. I think she's bigger and stronger than Swin. Swin was built differently, and I think skill-wise, I don't think she's Swin, but very few people are.
Kristen wasn't active early on in the game, but she got better as the game wore on. Did you see at least some encouraging signs that she started to do some things, or is it way too early to say that she's getting out of her funk?
I don't know. I mean, I think the challenge, I think, for any freshman is how you react when you hit that moment where you realize it's difficult, and everybody handles it a little bit differently, but it's not anything you can prevent. It's going to happen. That's all there is to it. For most freshmen, this is the first time in their lives when it's not all about me. When you go to practice, the coaches and trying to figure out how to keep you happy, how to make sure you get every shot, how to make sure everything's okay for you. And for a lot of kids, every kid, when they come here as a freshman, that's a tough adjustment. What do you mean other people are going to shoot it? That's never happened before, So I think once they figure it out, but she got a bunch of opportunities today, which is good. She was more active today. I think that was evident. But we need her to keep getting better.